Hello Orchid friends, welcome back to my channel. Wherever you are, I hope you're having a great day, staying healthy and staying safe. Today in this video, we're going to look at two orchids, two primary hybrids. Germaine Vincent is the name for these two orchids. It's essentially a primary hybrid, a cross between two species. The mother is Violacea indigo, and the father, which is the pollen parent, would be Speciosa. Now, online, you will be able to find different parentage information for Germaine Vincent. And primarily, it's because Speciosa and or Tetraspis, sometimes there isn't a very clear differentiation. And because they all have that similar characteristics, so sometimes people use Speciosa and Tetraspis interchangeably. For example, I even saw some orchid nursery calling Germaine Vincent a cross between Violacea and Speciosa C1, which is kind of confusing because usually it's Tetraspis C1, but then they use Speciosa and then added C1. So anyway, another thing interesting about this cross is if you Google Germaine Vincent and under image, you will see all kinds of different variations. And my two variations that I have, unfortunately, is not the kind that I was hoping to get, which was what I saw in the photo on the Orchid Nursery's website when I made the purchase, which is I was hoping to get a cross that's more aligned to more taking after the Tetraspis or Speciosa, which means you'll have that random color distribution. Some flower petal is white, and then some parts of the flower will be a different color. But you can see from here, at least this is the bigger one of the two, the color distribution is very much after Violacea, which is the purple slash red fuchsia color. This is the bigger one of the two, and I have put it in a 16 or 18 ounce cup, which is a grande size cup if you go to Starbucks to get coffee. And currently this orchid is in a semi-hydro setup, which you can see the drainage holes are on the side of the container, and there's no holes at the bottom. So anything below the drainage hole on the side would then be a reservoir at the bottom of the cup. And the idea is that I can give this orchid, say, quarter cup of water, and the water that's at the bottom would then become like a reserve for this orchid to take, to absorb throughout the week. And I have tested enough that I know quarter cup of water in my environment for this particular orchid would be able to achieve that wet-dry cycle within a week, within 7 days. Depending on your environment, sometimes you may have to reduce the amount or increase the amount based on your humidity as well as the amount of roots an orchid may have. But for this one, I feel it's doing okay in this semi-hydro. However, because I've had this orchid for quite a few years already, ideally this orchid should have it does have 3 leaves right now, but it should really have 4 or 5 leaves. Because I've had this orchid for a while and it really should be a lot bigger than this. So I'm thinking semi-hydro may not be the best method for this orchid, and so I may be changing it to something that maybe a traditional setup where there will be drainage holes at the bottom. And then coming up here, this is the other one that I was telling you about, and this is the smaller one of the two. However, it does have more flower spikes than the other one. This one is in a much smaller container. This is a 8 ounce container that it's in. And the reason for that is when I first repotted both orchids, this orchid's root system was significantly smaller. A lot fewer roots, so I didn't think it was the right thing to put it into the same 16 or 18 ounce cup. Now you might be able to tell already the difference between the flower of the smaller one than the other one's flower. But I'm not going to tell you right away. I want to give you a few more seconds to look at this orchid's flower and see if you can detect any difference. For those of you who've seen my previous Germaine Vincent videos, I've talked about their difference already, so you probably already know. But for those of you who are new to my channel, who are new to this video, to Germaine Vincent, you probably don't see the difference just yet. But it's okay. I'll talk about them when they are in a side-by-side comparison format, which is coming up in a few minutes. But just real quick, these two orchids receive 1/4 cup of water, and the amount of fertilizer I give to these two orchids is also about 25% total. So 1/4 strength fertilizer in 1/4 cup. I do this 3 weeks of the month, and then at the end of the month, the last watering cycle, I will only use just pure reverse osmosis water to soak them, to dissolve unnecessary salt buildup from the fertilizer, or even just to wash away unnecessary dead tissues or whatever that's inside the pot. And this smaller orchid is also in a double cup method, but this one has drainage holes at the bottom. And because of the drainage holes and the double cups allow me to have that flexibility to go between traditional setup with no water at the bottom, or if I want to leave some excess water at the bottom, then it would become a semi-hydroponic variation. Now here is the comparison, side-by-side comparison. So the bigger one is on the right, the smaller one is on the left. Two things I want to call out, and that's the difference. That will be the differences here. Look at their lips. The smaller one's lips are fuzzy lips, who has some hair at the lips. The other one does not have any small hair or fuzzy lips. And then also, if you look at the other one, the top right and top left sepals, they have white edges around the sepals, whereas the other one, the entire flower is just one color, almost one color. It does have a little bit of that violacea color variation toward the middle of the flower and petals, but for the most part, the biggest difference is on the lips and also, around the edge of the sepals and petals. This is all I have for you today. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you would like to get more orchid related videos from my channel, please subscribe and turn on the notification. I want to wish you happy growing, and I will talk to you in my next video. Ciao!